Welcome to Purposeful Living with Cynthia VanWarmer, where we slow down long enough to see what's really happening and take our power back without losing our grace. Welcome back to Purposeful Living with Cynthia VanWarmer and my friend, Marc Hildebrand. Marc's here today, and he's going to ask me some more powerful questions. Today's topic, Marc, lead and own it.
Ooh, you guys better be ready for some fire today. That's all I got to say. All right, my friend. I remember when you first brought up this concept during one of our trainings, one of the Master Coach certifications, having to do with like both leading it and owning it. And I love the combination of you putting these two together. But we want to catch people up to speed. So when you say lead and own it, what do you actually mean by that?
Well, everybody can lead. We can lead ourselves. Hey, I got to get out of bed today. I got to go to work. That's leading. We can lead others, right? Which I do every day. But owning it is truly being committed and believing. And it all stems back to your why and your purpose. Owning it, taking that action because you want something different. So as we lead, like I said, everybody can lead. But it's the owning part that's the hardest part.
So I want to see if you can give me an example of like what it looks like when somebody doesn't own it versus when somebody does own it. Because I want them to see the cost of not owning it. So what comes up for you?
One huge thing that I see all the time, every day, is people are waiting for approval. They're waiting. They're waiting for that person to say, yes, that's okay. Go ahead and do that. Or yes, that's a great idea. Go ahead with that. So leading it is actually somebody says, okay, I give you approval. You're leading by saying, is this something that I really want to do? Or am I waiting for approval so I can decide not to do it? See, Marc, we all have our own choices, right? This is what this podcast is. You know, I've mentioned it before. We have choices. We have more choices than we think we have. So we're waiting for approval, owning it. We don't need permission to make our own decisions. We don't. What are we waiting for? We already have it right here. We don't need nobody to tell us. I don't need Marc to tell me, hey, start a podcast, even though he said I would be great at it. It was my decision to say, yes, I am going to do a podcast because it is important to me. That is my why. It is important to me to be able to share to the world or whoever's listening so that I can help. Owning it. Making that decision and running with it. Taking that action. And don't forget to believe. Because when we believe in things, there's no stopping us. We're unstoppable.
So what do you think changes when somebody stops waiting for that permission and they just decide? What do you think changes?
I would have to say, always showing up on your A game because you're unstoppable. You know you can do it. You have the potential. You want that purposeful life. Leading without a title. So we don't need a title to lead. And we certainly don't need a title to own it because owning is our choice. We have that choice. And when we stop waiting for the approval or the permission from the others and the outside world, and we're able to make our own choices because that's what we want, it makes a huge shift. Like just everybody listening, just make that one decision and own it. And then the next day, I'd like you to reflect on that. How did that make you feel? It should be, oh my God. Oh my God. If it's not, oh my God, then we may want to revisit, right? Because decisions, we have choices, but we take the choice and maybe it's not the right choice in the moment, but when that's a life lesson, we take that life lesson and we embed it in here so that the next time that comes up, we're not going to go down that path. We're going to choose to do something different, to get something different this time.
I love the idea of, so many people wait for the title before they start to lead, but it's actually the opposite. You start leading before the title, and then they just give you the title usually because you're already doing it, right? You're already doing the things they're going to ask you to do. So I love to hear like the ripple effect that you think that this makes in somebody's life when they start leading and owning it. What kind of ripple effect? Not only just for them, but even other people who might be watching them lead and own it. Because I know that you've had that where people ask you a lot, how do you do that? Like, right? And so there's some influence going on there. So I'd love you to talk about that ripple effect.
The ripple effect starts with confidence, quiet and grounded confidence. You'll notice that first. Then self-trust, which you guys know I'm all about that. That's one huge thing when it comes to leadership and owning it. Decision-making, that gets easier. They're still hard decisions, don't get me wrong, but it will get easier where you don't need anybody's permission to make that decision, right? Influencing without forcing it. Kind of what you said, right? Influencing without even forcing it. Just being you. Just be you every day. Show up as your best version. People notice. People notice. Leading from identity. And that's what I do every day. I do hard things. That's what I do. I help people, and I'm going to keep doing it. Till I can't, I will. Which is my favorite saying.
I love
Till I
when
can't,
you
I
say
will.
that. I definitely love it. So I kind of want to wrap this up in a bow and ask you this one question, because a lot of people will watch you and be like, wow, like she does a powerful job at leading and owning it. But if somebody's just getting started on that, right? And they're listening to you now and they're like, can you give me one piece of advice that I could follow or that I can lean on to start getting to this point where I can lead it and own it at that level? What would you want them to take away?
You don't have to wait for everything to be lined up, for someone to tell you you're ready. You get to decide. And when you do, you stop waiting, you start leading. And it's baby steps. It's baby steps, right? You don't have to wait for permission. Just do it.